Igbo culture. The customs, practices and traditions of the Igbo people of southeastern Nigeria. It comprises archaic practices as well as new concepts added into the Igbo culture either by cultural evolution or by outside influence. These customs and traditions include the Igbo people's visual art, music and dance forms, as well as their attire, cuisine and language dialects. Because of the various subgroups, the variety of the culture is heightened further. Music. The Igbo people have a melodic and symphonic musical style which they designed from forged iron. Other instruments include opi, a wind instrument similar to the flute, igba, and ichaka. Another popular musical form among Igbo people is highlife, which is a fusion of jazz and traditional music and widely popular in West Africa. The modern Igbo highlife is seen in the works of Prince Nico Mbaga, Dr. Sawaria, Oliver de Kock, Bright Guy Mezi, and Chief Ozita Osadobi, who were some of the greatest Igbo highlife musicians of the 20th century. There are also other notable Igbo highlife artists, like the Micah Jagger, Paul Sankalu, Ali Chukwuma, Ozomina and WNSUGBE. Art. Igbo art is known for various types of masquerade, masks and outfits symbolizing people, animals or abstract conceptions. Igbo art is also known for its bronze castings found in the town of Igbo, UKW from the 9th century. Igbo art is any body of visual art originating from the people of the Igbo. Igbo culture is a visual art and culture. Mythology. While today many Igbo people are Christian, the traditional ancient Igbo religion is known as Odinani. In the Igbo mythology, which is part of their ancient religion, the supreme god is called Chukwu. Chukwu created the world and everything in it and is associated with all things on earth. Chukwu is also a solar deity. To the ancient Igbo, the cosmos is divided into four complex parts: archaic, Ilu-C, Mmuo, Uwa, Ilu-C, also known as Arusi or Arushi, are minor deities that are worshipped and served in Igbo mythology. There are a list of many different Ilu-C, and each has its own purpose. When there is no longer a need for the deity, it is discarded. Yam. The yam is very important to the Igbo as it is the staple crop. There are celebrations such as the New Yam Festival which are held for the harvesting of the yam. The New Yam Festival is celebrated annually to secure a good harvest of the staple crop. The festival is practiced primarily in Nigeria and other countries in West Africa. Traditional attire. Traditionally, the attire of the Igbo generally consisted of little clothing, as the purpose of clothing then was to conceal private parts. Although elders were fully clothed, children were usually nude from birth till their adolescence, but sometimes ornaments such as beads were worn around the waist for medical reasons. Uli body art was also used to decorate both men and women in the form of lines forming patterns and shapes on the body. With colonialism and the westernization of Igbo culture, Western-styled clothes such as shirts and trousers overtook traditional clothing. Females women carried the babies on the backs with a strip of clothing binding the two with a knot at her chest. This baby-carrying technique was and still is practiced by many people groups across Africa, along with the Igbo who still carry the babies this way. This method has been modernized in the form of the child carrier. In most cases, Igbo women did not cover the chest areas. Maidens usually wore a short wrapper with beads around the waist with other ornaments such as necklaces and beads. Both men and women wore wrappers. Males would wear loincloths that wrapped around the waist and between the legs to be fastened at the back. The type of clothing appropriate for the intense heat as well as jobs such as farming. Men could also tie a wrapper over the loincloth. Modern traditional attire. Modern Igbo traditional attire is generally made up, for men, of the Isiagu top, which resembles the African dashiki. Isiagu is usually patterned with lions' heads embroidered over the clothing. It can also be plain. It is worn with trousers and can be worn with either a traditional title holder's hat or with the traditional Igbo stripped men's hat. For women, an embodied puffed-sleeve blouse along with two wrappers and a headscarf are worn. Chieftaincy title. Highly accomplished men and women are admitted into orders for people of titles such as Ndiozo or Ndinze. These people receive insignia to show the stature. Membership is highly exclusive, and to qualify an individual need to be highly regarded and well spoken of in the community. Apprenticeship. The Igbo have a unique form of apprenticeship in which either a male family member or a community member will spend time with another family when they work for them. After the time spent with the family, the head of the host household, who is usually the older man who brought the apprentice into his household, will establish the apprentice by either setting up a business for him or giving money or tools by which to make a living. This practice was exploited by Europeans, who used this practice as a way of trading in enslaved people. Olorikwano, although stolen from his home, was an Igbo person who was forced into slavery to an African family. He said that he felt part of the family, unlike later, when he was shipped to North America and enslaved in the 13 colonies. Osu caste system. Osu are a group of people whose ancestors were dedicated to serving in shrines and temples for the deities of the Igbo, and therefore were deemed property of the gods. Relationships and sometimes interactions with Osu were in many cases forbidden. To this day, being called an Osu remains a stigma that prevents people's progress and lifestyles. Calendar. In the traditional Igbo calendar, a week has 4 days, 7 weeks make 1 month, a month has 28 days, and there are 13 months in a year. In the last month, an extra day is added. The names of the days have the roots in the mythology of the kingdom of Nri. It was believed that Eri, the sky-born founder of the Nri kingdom, had gone on a journey to discover the mystery of time. On his journey he had saluted and counted the 4 days by the names of the spirits that governed them, and so the names of the spirits became the days of the week. Naming after market days. Newborn babies were sometimes named after the day of the week when born. This is no longer the fashion. Names such as Mgbeke, Mgbori are commonly seen among the Igbo people. For males, Mgbe is replaced by Nwa or Okoro. Examples of this are Solomon Okoronkwo and Nwankwo Kanu's two popular footballers. Igbo masks and masquerades. There are two basic types of masquerades, visible and invisible. The visible masquerades are meant for the public. They often are more entertaining. Masks used offer a visual appeal for the shapes and forms. In these visible masquerades, performances of harassment, music, dance, and parodies are acted out. The invisible masquerades take place at night. Sound is the main tool for them. The masquerader uses his voice to scream so it may be heard throughout the village. The masks used are usually fierce-looking, and their interpretation is only fully understood by the society's members. These invisible masquerades call upon a silent village to strike fear in the hearts of those not initiated into the society. Kolerna. Kolerna occupies a unique position in the cultural life of Igbo people. Tea is the first thing served to any visitor in an Igbo home. Tea is served before an important function begins, be it marriage ceremony, settlement of family disputes, or entering into any type of agreement. Tea is traditionally broken into pieces by hand, and if the kola nut breaks into 3 pieces, a special celebration is arranged.